Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 2 of The Brandon Show, aka The Brand Own Show, because I show you how to get your brand on. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is a young hustler, entrepreneur, who's been featured on ABC News and the Huffington Post. He's a public speaker. He's an author whose book just came out called Rise of the Young. You can get it on Amazon, and you need to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Adams. Casey, how's it going, man?
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, dude, no problem. So, for those of us who may not know you, who is Casey Adams, and what's your story?
Yeah, so my story, like you said, my name is Casey Adams, 16-year-old entrepreneur, and my story really started when I was about 15 years old, when something really negative happened to me. So when I was going into sophomore year of high school, I was playing sports, I played football, and I got diagnosed with, it was called interspinous ligament damage, and what that means was I was in a neck brace for 15 weeks. I was very depressed. I wasn't able to play football ever again. And it was really just a negative point in my life that I look back now. It was like this catalyst that really moved me into getting into entrepreneurship, starting my own kind of brand, my business. But kind of after that all happened, I started doing some like online marketing. I started a brand, Rise of the Young, which is now the name of my book. But I started selling wristbands at school, kind of starting selling clothes line. That little like hustle, trying to make some extra money.
Yeah.
But fast forward around 6 months, and I kind of dove into online marketing and really selling products online, building my own courses. And after I was able to make like 60 sales on Snapchat with an affiliate marketing course, I built a Snapchat marketing course. I was able to help a lot of people learn how to really market on Snapchat. And I got a lot of exposure, like you said. I got on ABC News, the Huffington Post, and then now I've been meeting a lot of amazing people like Ty Lopez, but we'll go a lot in depth about that in the questions. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I do now. It's branding, about to publish my book, and it's super cool.
Right, awesome, man. So you mentioned branding and social media, which is kind of what the show is about anyway. So I'm wondering why do you think it's even important for anyone really to just be on social media in today's age?
Yeah, so I mean, with social media, if you look at it, it's a virtual business card that you have access to create, right? So if you look at the next 5-10 years of business, social media isn't going away. And for me, being someone that's very young and seeing the trends of social media since I was younger, before I even used it for business, number one thing is that you are a brand. You as an individual, whether it be starting a company, you are a brand. Like for me, I go in depth about personal branding, and I stress it a lot because for me to get opportunities to speak on stage in San Diego, or to meet Ty Lopez, or to meet all these amazing people that I've met in the last 6 months, it's literally come from building a personal brand on social media and utilizing it by simply sending a highly responsive direct message, or just being out there and engaging with people and having the personal brand to back it up. It just opens so many new opportunities.
Exactly, I agree. And so, since we're talking about personal brands, would you say if someone was just starting out, say they're not really that familiar with social media, would you say that it's better to focus on maybe like one channel, like say, hey, I'm going to go on Instagram, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to search hashtags, connect with people in my niche, like and comment on their photos, or should I kind of spread myself out over all of them? What do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the best thing to do is something that I've done personally. Like I've always had social media before I dove into it for like entrepreneurship. I've had Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Yeah.
But like business wise, I think it's really important that you actually do have one platform that you have majority of your content, but then also have different other channels that you're producing different types of content, because every social media platform is different, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat. They're all different in the way you approach them. But for me, my big thing is Instagram, and that's allowed me to really build up my, what they call it, social currency, and build your portfolio. So when you show people who you are, you have the brand to back it up, you have the content, you have the engagement. But to someone that's just starting out, or whoever's listening to this, it's really all about just diving into something and figuring out how it works best for you, because you may not want to be just posting on Snapchat every single day and making videos. You might just want to post like a fade video that you make, you don't want to be in front of the camera that long, but figuring out what works best for you and then just really going all in on that one, but then also having different platforms so that you can send people to if you need to.
Right, and I like what Gary Vee says about this. He says you don't really want to kind of put all your eggs in one basket just to rely, because what if something completely changes? Because you know how it is, there's updates to these sites all the time. You never know when a feature could be taken away or added, so you don't want to just completely rely on one.
Yeah.
I like that. So is Instagram your favorite social media channel, or?
Yeah, I would definitely say Instagram is for me something that it's kind of taking over the marketplace, if you say, because like Facebook owns Instagram, and they've added the stories to Snapchat, and now they added the links so you can swipe up. So it's a huge marketing tool that if you have a product to sell or something that you want people to watch a video, you can really just direct a lot of traffic from Instagram as a main platform, like whether it be to your website, to your product, to a free ebook. And then also you can have like your pictures and your videos on your main page. But for Instagram, like a lot of people that go to Instagram, that's like where they see and consume a lot of their content. For people that are like viewing content or following entrepreneurs or whatever it may be, a lot of people's eyes are right there. They have over 700 million users, and it's just a good platform right now that's kind of dominated the market. Yeah.
And you mentioned the stories on Snapchat. I think it's interesting how Snapchat and Instagram are kind of going at it to see who's going to come out on top. And I'm kind of curious to see which one is going to come out on top in the end, or because I know Ty Lopez mentioned that he thinks Instagram will end up winning that battle in the end. I'm curious, what do you think, or do you think they're just going to both kind of just be there?
Yeah, so I would definitely say like right now, and like Gary Vee says, he always says like focus on the reality of things. Like once Instagram stories came out, everyone was like, oh, it's gonna suck, blah blah blah. But now it's like a lot of like the influencers or entrepreneurs, they're really going hard at Instagram stories. They're kind of leveling up their content by putting edits and putting effects. And you can't really do that on Snapchat that much, because on Instagram, if you have a story, you can correlate it back to your main channel. So on Snapchat, it says you're posting videos after one, and then they delete. When on Instagram, you can do that, but then someone stumbles across your Instagram story and they can go check out your page. They can really see like the brand you built rather than just kind of the videos you post. So for me personally, I think Instagram is doing very well right now on like crushing Snapchat, but there's always different ways to look at it. Like Snapchat has features that Instagram doesn't have some type of way, but I would definitely say for me personally, Instagram is like the one that you really want to double down on right now.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. So that's settled. So what would you give anyone as far as advice with networking with other people, maybe with influencers, maybe with people they want to do business with, people in their niche on social media? What do you have to say about networking?
Yeah, absolutely. And like for me, being 16 years old, networking, whatever industry you're in, that is the key to getting new opportunities, to getting that new business deal or whatever it may be, right?
Yep.
So me, how I've been able to meet Ty Lopez, like he flew me out, I'm featured in his courses, all of that comes down to networking, right? And one of my favorite quotes by Steve Jobs is, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards.
Yep.
So for me, as I look back on what I've done the last 6 months, I realized that once I made one connection, they allowed me to connect with other people. So I met Caleb Maddox through Instagram, and the best way that I was able to connect with these game changers is simply being organically engaged in their content, have their notifications on, comment on all their pictures.
Yes.
Don't just put like nice picture, like really actively tell them how their content has affected you, how it's allowed you to take that next step on your journey, because that's what people's like plan is to post content. They want to hear the reactions. They want to feel the people's emotions coming out and commenting on their pictures. So if you want to get in contact with someone, whether it be someone that has 10,000 followers or 1 million followers, overall, be actively engaged with their content, and then use direct messages. And don't just say like for me, don't be like, hey Ty, my name's Casey, great content. Like actively tell them story, actively tell them who you are, how their content has impacted you, and really just go all in on making that connection. And then the thing that really makes everything work is consistency. So I've reached out to Ty multiple times before he saw my message and got back to me, flew me out, and all of having that consistent action of like, I want to reach out to him, I'm going to follow him and like his pictures and comment, long comments. But to really get in contact with somebody, like I said just a few seconds ago, consistency will win the game.
Exactly. And speaking of that, and talking about Ty Lopez, just for example, speaking of him, I know when he gets on Twitter, and he starts tweeting back to back to back, it's kind of the best time I've noticed to kind of reply or like something and to get him to engage with you. And that's why I think it's important, you know, to kind of be everywhere and have your brand. You know, you want to be on Instagram, you want to be active on Snapchat, because the thing is, if you're going to want to reach up to some of these influencers, you know, for whatever reason it may be, like you said, you're going to have your notifications on. You're going to need to, you know, get in those DMs on Instagram, which I think is one of the most underrated things that we have right now on social media. The power we have to really just send a direct message to almost anyone that we want. So, yeah.
Like
I agree.
Gary Vee says it best. He says, like, on social media, there's no gatekeepers except for yourself. Like, you can reach out to people consistent. You can build that brand. You can find that connection. Like, there's so much power of it. People are not utilizing properly, but once you do and actually learn the tactics of, like, actively engaging with people and all that little things, it really starts to come together. Exactly.
So, speaking of influencers, if you could pick one person right now, maybe that you haven't met before, if you could pick one person to meet with, say you could meet with them for an hour, who would it be, and why would you want to meet with that person?
Yeah, so if I could look at, there's a lot of people, amazing people out there, but for me in the business I'm doing, I would definitely say Gary Vee is like the number one person that I would want to hour with, and I might actually have the opportunity to by the end of the year. That's the plan. But
awesome.
Gary Vee, he just knows his stuff, and we do business with someone that's like actively helps Gary Vee with his brand. So meeting Gary Vee and talking to him and really understanding what he does and how he does it, and asking him questions about what I'm doing, I feel like the constructive criticism that he can give to me would be very beneficial.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely one of the people that I really want to have like an hour conversation with.
Yeah, he's definitely one of mine too. Of course, I'm pretty sure almost everyone in our space kind of loves Elon Musk. He would probably be one of mine as well. But Gary Vee, man, the fact that he has, you know, his Vayner Media, I think he's got about 600, 700, 800 people working under him. So huge what he's been able to do with these big name brands. So he's definitely a person that I would like to meet. I would like to talk about your book, Rise of the Young. So what exactly is the book about?
Yeah, so this is the book right here. It's called Rise of the Young, and pretty much the book's about, it's called Rise of the Young, how to turn your negative situation into a positive outcome and build a successful personal brand. And I wrote a book not only just for like getting it out there, but the impact that it's going to create on people. Because like for me, going through my story of getting diagnosed with inner-spinal ligament damage and not knowing what I'm going to do, being super depressed, like it was something for me that I never would expect it to happen in my life. It was such a negative situation, but I've been able to bounce back. I've been able to create opportunity from it. I've been able to leverage it and utilize social media to really create a brand and make an impact on people now. So with that, the book's about just overall my story and how I've been able to kind of overcome my negativity, what I actually went through when it was happening, now how I've been able to network with all these amazing people like Ty Lopez, Gerard Adams, Caleb Maddox, and all these kind of big names in the industry simply by utilizing a personal brand and utilizing social media to its finest. So, like inside the book, I had the opportunity to interview a lot of big names. Like I interviewed Caleb and Gerard and Ty spoke in it, and all these amazing people. For the book, the main purpose of it is overall to just tell people my story and overall just get it out there to the world, because a book is something that it's a tangible product, and once you have a book, it's also good for your branding, for events. So it's just something that I tell my story. I talk about how I've been able to build a personal brand. I go in depth with it, and it's just a huge piece of content that I've been working on for a while.
Awesome, man. And when is that coming out? Sometime soon, right?
Yeah, so right now, as we're recording this video, it's July 6th. It should be out by July 9th. For sure. Okay, gotcha.
And how can we get that book?
Yeah, so you can just go to on Amazon.com, just type in Rise of the Young, and it's on Amazon. I self-published it. Then also you can just follow me on my Instagram at KCAdams1, and it'll be in the bio for sure.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. One more thing. Let's see, as we're going to wrap it up here in just a little bit, but do you think quantity or quality, would you say, as far as posting on social media?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues to say. After learning from Ty Lopez, the different platforms have different structures, right? So on Instagram is like your canvas. For me, I don't just post when it comes to like pictures and videos on your actual feed. I don't just post random pictures of me and doing just random stuff. I like to have the quality content, the quality videos, quality pictures, because Instagram is like a virtual business card, and then that's why you have Instagram stories where you can really do quantity and really post a lot of your daily actions, your daily stuff. Because if you have all these different pictures on your Instagram profile, and some of them like might have a direct correlation to your brand, it's very good to just post a lot of content on your stories, daily actions, daily updates, daily inspiration, or whatever niche you're into. But then really building that quality personal brand, the quality pictures, quality videos, and just pushing out a lot of it, either every day or every other day on Instagram. But then, like you said, on Twitter, how Ty Lopez posts a lot at one time, you can really be active on Twitter, and that's something that I don't really do strongly. But Twitter is a platform that you can really post a lot of stuff frequently, and just all those different types of platforms have different meanings, though.
Right. So Instagram, you wouldn't post like 5 or 10 images on Instagram a day?
Absolutely no. Because like Instagram, with the algorithm and the way it's structured and the way the software works, they want to see like your content you put out. But if you put a lot of stuff out, some stuff is going to rank really low because they're going to say this person is flooded or it's a bot, or they just want to see whether it be once a day or every other day, and utilizing the hashtags properly to really rank higher.
Right, and you're kind of going to look spammy to your followers too. They're probably going to get tired of seeing if you post 5 or 10 pictures a day. But whereas on Twitter, I think you would agree you can do a little bit more frequent posts on Twitter. And so Facebook, do you feel the same way? Would you post how many posts would you say you do on Facebook, or would you recommend someone to do like a day, we'll say?
Yeah, so I mean on Facebook, I haven't been that active on Facebook, but I'm starting to do a lot more now. But like I was talking to Ty Lopez and Kayla Maddox, and they try to do something every other day. And really just put something out, whether it be a video or just a long caption of what they've been doing today. But it's all about just kind of figuring out what works best for you and trying to be the most consistent with it. So if you want to post once a day, pick that and try to go all in on that. Or if you want to do every other day, stick with that plan, because that's how people will view your brand. It's like, all right, they're going to post every other day, so if I like their content, I'll check in every other day or something like that, right? So, I mean, Facebook, I really just think it comes down to just the quality content and then also just being consistent with it.
Awesome. And so something like Snapchat and Instagram stories, though, since we're talking about this, you would recommend posting a lot of content on there a day? Is that okay to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So like with Snapchat stories and Instagram stories as well, it's really good to have volume on those, but not like spam it like every second, but just kind of have good quality content on there, but you do a lot of it. So if you want to show your daily actions, or the books you're reading, things you're doing, or what you're working on, or having your phone and interviewing someone on the street, but just random stuff that people could actively follow and engage with and really follow the storyline, because that's what it's all about, is just really showing people the daily actions that you're doing and then building the brand of content to back it up so you can reach out to people and have a more effective way to get them to reach back out to you.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I've actually got another one here, since I've got some friends that have graduated college recently, a bunch of them, and they're, becoming doctors, lawyers, things like that. So for a business owner, from a business standpoint, is it necessary, do you think, to be involved in social media? Do you think that a business needs to be online today?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, hands down, because with businesses today, like Ty Lopez says, he has a social media marketing agency, and people are crushing it with their results. And because a lot of businesses, they don't understand that social media isn't going away, and it's either use it or you lose it. You're going to lose your customers, or you're going to gain a lot of new ones by utilizing it. And you see all the big brands utilizing social media, trying to crush it, but some of them don't have good marketing strategies. But the people that are on social media, whether it be an individual brand or a big corporation, that's the place to be, because that's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like Gary Vee like to say, like, the radio is turning into modern TV. The TV's smartphone, and that's something that I really see happening in this day and age. Because for me personally, I haven't watched TV in a year and a half, and that's like the demographic that's on social media. So if you want to really target the millennials or even older people now on Facebook, like running the Facebook ad, that's something that businesses tap into. It's like the way to go.
And speaking of TV, I think actually Gary Vee said this as well, and I got this from him, is when people are watching TV, when the commercial comes on, this is what they're looking at during the commercial. You know, business, and you're not fully committed to being relevant on this, I think you're going to end up losing in the next 5 or 10 years. So yeah. So, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on today. We're going to wrap it up here in just a little, but where can we follow you online?
Yeah, so I appreciate you for having me, man. So my Instagram is @CaseyAdams1 and Twitter @TheCaseyAdams. But we'll have a bunch of links below and stuff. Yep. And then on Facebook, it's @CaseyAdamsOfficial.
Yep. Awesome. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show, dude, giving lots of value to everybody. So we'll have to do it again sometime. Done.